Oh, now he can see me. Testing. Oh, now he can see me. Ooh, that's really weird. It's echoey in my phone. Time delay. Okay. Well, well, hello. Is my microphone working? I can see me on my phone, which means it went on. I am talking to someone. My wife thinks I'm crazy, everybody, because I'm talking to nobody, but I'm on a live broadcast right now. Yeah. Hi, Ernest. Hi, Jeff. Is it Jeff? Or do you pronounce that Goff? I never knew what that spelling. I see Mike's on there too. Okay, Tom's on there too. Okay, people can see me. Fantastic. I'm running a test, everybody, because I'm going to go live tomorrow and share a few things with the world. I hope people can join me. So I'm going to play a little video here and see if you can see this video. So here we go. Let's watch something new from Dave's Bonsai.
Welcome to Bonsai Acres.
All right. Well, we don't have to watch it again. Let's get rid of that one. Okay. Hey, Steve, you made a little cameo there. What do you know? I guess you saw it all then. That all came through loud and clear for you guys? That's congrats on 7. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, well, fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to do something new tomorrow and share a lot of information. And you guys got a little sneak peek there with that little quick 30-second video. Fantastic. I should do something here. Wide and clear. We could see and hear. Well, thank y'all. So now that I have y'all, everybody ready for the madness of the holiday season? How's everybody preparing? How y'all doing? I should see if I can invite one of you to the chat. Let me, whoops. Let me send an email out to one of my friends. Whoops. Let's see, compose, Steve. Steve, I'm going to send you, if you're still there, Steve, I'm going to send you a link. And if you're on a computer, I think you can maybe join me live. So let's see if that works. Yeah, that'll be part of my new opening credits, Steve. You got it. You're on the ball there. Do you have any upcoming lectures or demos? I always miss them. Lectures or demo. I lecture too much. If you mean workshops, my first one will be in February. Got one in March, and I just talked to a gal today. We might have another one in March or April. So I have 3 coming up for the first part of the year. Yeah, it is cold, Steve. We just hit a nasty spell, but we're going to warm up here in a little bit. Raining? Yeah, that's not cold, Steve, if it's raining. Just hanging in there for the holiday craziness. I get you. That's money. Good. Whiting. Okay, that's all the stuff I read. Hey, Dave Harding there from Dreaming About. Hey, Dave. Doing a little tester here. Where do you post those workshops? Well, Tom, I post them on my website as soon as I know them for sure. The Minnesota Bonsai workshops that I do are through the MBS website. My personal one is on Bonsai Acres. And so those people will join me for that. Dave, I just believe I saw your video on your Jade Bonsai. Looking nice. I like that first one you were working on. So I invited Steve. Steve, did you get that an invitation? Did that link come to you? I tried to invite Steve. If anybody else is going to be around for a few minutes, share me your email. I'll send you an invite, see if I can get you to pop up. I'm curious what that's going to look like for a future project of mine. Well, of course, Dave, checking it out as always. Learning something new every day from all the people out there. It did, but I'm not on a laptop. If you're on your phone, you can't use it because you have to use Safari if you're on a phone. If you're on a laptop and have an email and have 15 minutes or so, someone, I'd love to send you a link. If you're willing to share your email or email me. Email me, Bonsai. Let's spell Bonsai Acres right. Here's my email address. Send me an email. I'll send you a link and see if I can invite someone to join me here. I want to see if I can talk to people this way instead of via a Zoom meeting. So, yeah, if someone's going to be around for a few more minutes and wants to test this out with me, I'd broadcast you to the world. If you don't want to, I completely understand. Alrighty. Refresh. No emails yet. All right. It's good to know. All kinds of fun stuff. Oh, here we go. I do not have many south-facing windows. What do you recommend for an indoor bonsai? I have had some luck with ficus. Yeah, ficus is certainly a common one. There are, of course, different ficuses that people have used to different successes. I don't have a south-facing window, so all my trees are in a plant room with a whole bunch of light. Oh, there's Steve. Get out of town. Look at that. I can see Steve. Let me finish this question, Steve, and I'll be right with you. Look at that. It's good to see a familiar face. So I don't have a south-facing window, Tom, so all my trees, I have a lot of light in my plant room. So when I broadcast tomorrow night, I'll be in my plant room. I'll show that tomorrow. But so they get a lot of light. So I think the biggest trouble people have is enough light and enough warmth, in some cases enough humidity. So my plant room's getting into the mid 70s in the daytime with all my light in there. So they're loving life. I've got some ficuses that are pushing out a lot of new growth right now, which is really kind of cool to see. And if you've never gotten into the Portulacaria afras, the mini jades, I tell you, after my trip this past summer, I saw one of the best bonsai trees in the PA world I've ever seen, and it was phenomenal. Now, this thing was probably over 40, 50 years old and huge and gnarly and wonderful, but they're hard to kill, and they grow all seasons through all indoor and outdoor situations. So I do like the mini jades a ton. The narrow leaf ficus and the tiger bark ficus are my two go-to right now for ficus for indoor. They seem to be pushing out pretty decent growth. And again, any ficus I think is going to be good indoors with as much light as it gets. It just might not put on a lot of growth. If you can get it outside in the summertime to push a lot of growth, then in the wintertime it might be resting a little bit, but they'll still grow just like I always say at doctors' offices and dentist offices, they have ficus all the time, and they're just getting artificial light and they're alive. And so it can be done. It just, the more light, the better, and the more warmth you can. Hope that answered some of your questions, but those are my go-to ficus. Benjamina do okay as well. The ficus Benjamina. Right now, my big, huge one that I have, it's a 40-year-old plus ficus I got from a former MBS member, and it loves growing in my plant room. But again, a lot of artificial light. Yeah, Dave, that's all going to come out tomorrow. But yeah, I'm looking at doing a couple of things. And for those who have heard me on my road trip, I have plans to do a really great big YouTube expo in the summer here of 2025. And so I'm teasing it tomorrow night. I'm kicking off season 7, talking about my plans for the expo, and I got a lot of people on board, and it's going to be super fun. So now, between now and when we have this event, this live YouTube Bonsai Expo, I want to make sure I know what I'm doing and have some of these live stream things down to a little bit of a science, so I don't make a fool of myself. I'm going to try to bring Steve in here. So we're going to We're going to add Steve to the stage, everybody. So would you all, well, look at there, you click of a button and there's Steve.
How you doing?
Oh, and I got voice and everything. Hey, buddy. Good to hear your
This is
voice.
funny.
My
This
voice
is
is
fun.
a little trashed, but how you doing?
Not bad. How do you feel, Dave?
I feel better than I sound. I will say that.
Okay, that's good.
I've had a couple of weird days, and I managed to get to work on Wednesday and Thursday, but they both made me tired and hoarse, and I just really shouldn't have talked at all for a couple of days, probably. Oh,
Well,
that's right, Dave. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? Oh, go ahead, Steve.
'cause you do sound terrible.
Well, then I'll let you do all the talking. Tell me what's new.
No. I haven't done a video in a few days. I think I'm going to try and do one on Sunday.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of Norfolk Island pine little ones that I want to make a little forest out of, and I think it would be okay to do the repot simply because I'll take good care of them in the house.
There you go. There you go. Norfolks are pretty challenging, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Well, my only experience with them is the ones I brought home. I was out walking my dog and I ended up bringing home one that was out of the garbage, and I cut it back. I cut the roots back. I cut everything back. And only now, and this is like 3 months later, am I seeing a little bit of growth at the tips.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't kill it all.
Yeah. Wow. Well, fantastic. You know, I've seen people try, and I just love how all of us crazy bonsai nuts find new trees. Whether we're on a walk or we're at someone's house and like, hey, that would be a cool bonsai. People have to be careful.
I found another lemon cypress today, but it was too expensive. I'm going to wait till after the holiday if they go on sale.
You got me pumped for that. I really want to do that. Then I watched Chris. Is it Chris Marshall?
Chris Marshall, yeah, his is unbelievable.
I watched his right after, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to have myself a lemon cypress. Yeah.
Right. It looks crappy right away, but hopefully it'll fill in nicely, and I'll use his techniques for pruning.
For sure. For sure. Hey, Tom asked a question. What is the most reliable nursery to get ficus in Minnesota? Well, for all of you that are in Minnesota, which is very few of you, right now, of the people I work with, the Otten Brothers Nursery, where I do a couple of workshops in the early or late winter, early spring, they have an okay selection of ficus. It kind of ebbs and flows throughout the season, so I have to tell you the selection right now might not be the greatest. The last time I was there, they had a couple of really cool narrow leaf ficuses, and I was so pumped about them. It's like Steve just said, when you're walking down and you see something you like, you just grab it. I was in a workshop with a guy and his girlfriend, just two of them and me at Otten Brothers. I saw these two narrow leaf ficuses, and when you just see them in the pot and there's a nice wide nabari already, I'm like, I've got to take this tree.
Mm-hmm.
So Otten Brothers in Long Lake, Minnesota, Tom. Also, sometimes Tonkadale or Tonka, is that what it's called? Tonkadale Nursery. Tonkadale Nursery. I did a little workshop or a little kind of a question and answer session, introduction to bonsai without any trees to work on. And they brought in a whole bunch of really little pre-bonsais. And so they had a really good selection that fall. Or was it the springtime? That spring. And I'm sure all those are gone now, but they got a really cool selection of just plants in general and potential bonsai material. So if you're ever near the Tonkadale area, that's another decent one. But Otten Brothers is the only one I'm seeing multiple different bonsai, and they have a lot of little starter ones too. But if you don't want to start little, like I say to everybody else, just go to a nursery and buy a regular size, ficus tree, or not regular, not big tall, but buy one in a 1 or 2 gallon pot and turn it into a bonsai. But those are my two best options for nurseries. Otherwise, I'm just going to Gerton's in my neighborhood in the springtime and summertime and fall for their discount section, because their discount section has trees for $4, $5, $6, $7, $12, $15, and you can get these really nice trees. One of my biggest large trees right now was a $25 fine. It's a $100 tree. I got it for $25, and in a couple more years, that thing's going to be just spectacular, I think. So a lot of good stuff at Gerton's too in the discount section. But this time of year, it's kind of tough in the get-go. Our Flores 777. Nice to see him responding there, saying hello. Quick shout out. Forgive me if you mentioned already before I came on, but how did your event go last Saturday? Oh, thanks for asking, Dave. Um, it was a really good event for getting my name out there. You know, I sold a couple of trees. I was elated to not be skunked. I sold a couple trees, and I gave out a lot of business cards to people who are looking forward to maybe a workshop or some consultation. And they were a lot of people walked by. I tell you, in this kind of a craft fair, this was always my biggest fear, or one of my fears. They walk by and like, oh, I've always wanted to do that, and oh, I've those look so cool, but I've heard they're so hard to take care of. Oh, and then after that, I have to do my best to sell them and saying, hey, it's not that bad, really. We can get you started, but I'm not a pushy sales guy, so they grab my card and maybe I'll see them in the future. But thanks for asking, Dave. Hi, Judy. Judy just joined us. Well, I can't believe this many people are on this very random. I just thought about doing this, you guys, about 20 minutes ago.
It's fantastic. This is great.
This is awesome. I would like to do more of these, Dave, because I think it'd be really fun. One of the biggest, and Steve can attest to this. One of the best parts of my road trip east of the Mississippi that I shared with all of you, and so many people responded. The best part was the people and hanging out with those that I hung out with, and I got to spend a full day plus with Steve there. And anybody who is in this crazy hobby who will just spend that much time talking about trees is just magic. And so I could have stayed there a week, right, Steve?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was taking a walk with my dog this morning, and I was trying to do a short because this is wonderful Japanese katsura tree, and in the middle of the short, a woman drives by, stops her car, looks, says, "What's going on up there?" Because I was looking up at this tree. I said, "Oh, I love this tree," and her face just got completely blank, and she drove away like I was a crazy man.
Yeah, like you're a crazy person. It's like when we talk about in our club, we talk about when we go to nurseries and if we ever go with a chopstick and we're digging down,
Digging down.
what are you digging those trees for? But if there is a person there was once one person there who they were looking, and I said, you by chance into bonsai? And they actually said yes.
Oh
And
wow.
so that was kind of interesting. So yeah, we might look a little strange from time to time, or maybe always.
Always we do.
Yeah. It's a crazy addicting hobby, isn't it?
It sure is. It
Yeah.
sure is. So I don't see the chat anymore, but I am I see
Oh,
myself.
did you lose it as soon as you came aboard?
Well, actually, I'd have to. I'm on my phone talking to you, but on
Okay.
my iPad, the chat is still there.
Okay. Okay. So you could actually get me on your phone with that link? I thought you had to have Safari.
I do have Safari on my phone.
So it
Yeah,
worked.
yeah, it
Okay, well
worked.
that's good for the future, because when I do this in the future, I'll have to let that known to people that they can either join on their computer, but if it is mobile, it has to be through Safari. With this particular, it's called, well, so you can see it up there on the screen, StreamYard.
Hmm.
Um, this is a free service. I could, of course, pay for the upgrade with all the bells and whistles, but all I need is up to 6 people on screen. I have that access and I can show my stuff. So I think this is going to be good for free for this first go around.
Got a question about Bonsai Acres. Oh, by the way, your merch video the other day it cracked me up. I loved it.
I had so much fun making that, Steve.
It was great. So the question about Bonsai Acres: are there good baby larches or small larches there that are just growing there?
At Bonsai Acres?
Yeah,
Um, you mean in the natural
yeah.
bogs that are there? You know, to be honest, I have not seen any young ones. I've only seen the big mature ones. But to also be honest, which is blows my mind, but this just goes to show you all how crazy I am when I go up there. My mind is spinning and I'm all over the property. I've not actually looked for baby ones, to be honest. But what I've seen are all huge ones. And what I'm going to actually experiment with is I put about a half a dozen in the ground in my fence area, but I'm
Right.
going to put some in the bog, not maybe the real thick bog, but close to the bog. And I'm going to see if they grow a little faster than bog trees, but not quite as fast as ground trees. I'm
Hmm.
just going to see what they do because I have a bog right there that'll water it year round almost. you
Well,
know,
you should throw some bald cypress in there too and see
that,
how they do.
that would be another experiment. So yeah, I don't know if the current bog has some. All right, Tom. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out for us for a little while. We'll do it again tomorrow and many times to come, I hope.
I hope I can join you tomorrow. I'm not sure if I can.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll run the test again tomorrow and see how many people go. And right now, after we're done here, I'm gonna actually set now I know how to set the timing of it. I can set it so people will get that notification if they have their bells and all that stuff on.
Yeah.
Percy joined us, the Bonsai Dynasty. Very cool. Good to see the Bonsai Dynasty. Well, fantastic. So, Steve, what are your holiday plans? So, you've got a baby close by, grandbaby. So, you're going to have some good times this year.
Yeah, there'll be some visits, and it's great having a grandson nearby. We just got a picture tonight of his first shower. A picture of my son-in-law with holding the baby in the shower. So, I mean, that was just so cute.
Very cool. Are they having a good time? Things going well for them?
Yeah, they are. They are. Everybody. He just got off of paternity. No, I'm sorry. He's on paternity leave. My daughter was on maternity leave, and in January there's going to be this period of time where there's going to be a lot of babysitting because daycare doesn't begin until February.
All right. Very, very cool. So tell me about, your microclimate now is where you said it was raining out there. You looked really comfortable in your greenhouse the other day.
If the sun is out, it's very comfortable in the greenhouse, but it's 33.8 right now. So it's, if it's raining, it'll still be raining. It was snowing a little further west, so we might get a little snow tonight, but nothing like what I saw on TV happening in the Twin Cities area.
Yeah. What do we have? We just got, I think, 5 inches of snow, finally, a little bit of snow. But we have some warmth coming up, though. I just looked at the week and a half forecast, 14-day forecast, to see if I can go up to Bonsai Acres this holiday break for me, this school break. It's going to be 40 degrees, almost near Duluth next week again. So, I mean,
wow.
I mean, for Minnesota, that's really, really strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the coldest experiences I ever had was in Eden Prairie.
Eden Prairie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so cold.
Well, again, it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. And last year we had the craziest winter. So even I talked to people about this with Bonsai. I just had a client come over today and talking about garage storage and all that kind of stuff. And when you have a winter like we had last year, even the outside trees, you had to check for if they were dry or not because we had such a warm spell and then no snow or rain for a while. And not that they're growing actively, but if you let those roots completely dry out, you can have some pretty severe damage the next year. So it's really weird when it has weird winters like that. So we're used to snow to heal everything in and insulate it all winter long.
Well, I'm looking forward to having a pack of snow on my outdoor trees, but the ones in the greenhouse that I'm wintering in the greenhouse. Basically just my Central Park and a few others because I don't want them to get eaten up by squirrels and chipmunks and mice and whatnot. So I keep a lot of things in the greenhouse, some of the small stuff, and it dries out very, very quickly.
Very fast, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what trees are in your greenhouse then? Because that's the temperatures really fluctuating in there for you, I'm sure.
Well, I've got my lantana.
Okay.
I have 3 or 4 lantana in there, and most people just know lantana as an annual flower. But if you bring it in and keep it nice and cozy over the winter, I've had it in the house for the last 3 years, and this year I'm trying it out in the greenhouse. I can keep the temperatures in the low 50s, high 40s, and they seem to like the cool down period. So that's good.
You're talking
what else do I have in there?
You're talking at night temperatures?
At night temperatures, and during the day, the temperatures can go into the 70s in the greenhouse.
Yeah, I blocked off some of my windows because I'm keeping it more of a green frame than the greenhouse. Right. But I've gotten into the upper 50s a couple times at that higher level, so I'm right at that 50 point where I don't want to get any higher.
Well, that's the air coming up from out of the ground too, right?
Yeah, when that circulates, I can either cool it down and or of course warm it up a tad. But the warmth from just those 3 top windows now in the greenhouse is it's making it go up to 48, 50 degrees anytime there's sun. And we had just the other day it barely got into the teens, but it was still 40 degrees in the greenhouse. I mean that's not hot, but it's just comfortable as heck when it's 5 above outside.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, I'm going to get an IBC cube in the spring. I got to figure out where and how to get it. was yours new or did you get it used?
I got it used from a Facebook marketplace find, or someone who knew somebody said that a friend of mine said that this guy's getting rid of one. And he literally just dropped it off in my driveway. It was like the most
Wow.
brilliant thing in the world because he had an event in my neck of the woods. He
Oh,
dropped
wow.
it off. It was a great price. And my biggest concern is I got a little bit of, probably algae growth in there.
Yeah.
And I know that even some people will paint theirs, but you don't. I've heard you don't have to paint your IBC tanks necessarily. It wouldn't hurt, I suppose, but you don't have to. As long as you don't get any sediment in your water, you should be fine. It shouldn't really. I think it's kind of a myth, or a myth that water will just get all algae, and if you have no paint over it or covering up. But I think it's only when there's like particles in there. If you get sediment from your rainwater,
Well, if algae's no problem, and I use rainwater now. I just pour it into these gallon jugs.
Yeah.
But I filter it before I put it into my watering can.
Okay.
I use like a Keurig filter.
Sure.
And it works just fine. But if I put a new roof on, so I may get some sediment off the new roof into it.
Yeah. I have a lot of respect for you guys in the lower zones. I can barely keep trees alive in 10A. Yes. What's funny is since I started bonsai, Minnesota changed from 4 to 5. So
Wow.
we went from 4 AB to now 4, 5, and only up at the very arrowhead regions of northern Minnesota is a 3 anymore. But times are a changing.
I would love to be in a zone 10. That would be great.
Yeah. It would add different trees to our collection, perhaps. But
Yeah.
my buddy out in Alaska, if you've all ever seen the
Bald Yeti.
Bald Yeti, Billy is growing stuff where he's got what does he have? 4 hours of light at certain times of his year. He's got probably 2.5 months of summer. He was talking about ridiculously cold temperatures back in like September, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
man.
I got 2 more months of full growing almost compared to you. So
Wow. It's amazing you can keep trees alive.
We got Thomas from Germany. Hey.
Wow.
Thomas, welcome. That's pretty cool. Also Central Utah. Hey, is it Rosby? Do you have Utah juniper? So I always want to ask someone if they had a Utah juniper. My last trip, one of my trips with my son, we were out at the flats and everything and looking at some Utah juniper. Dave, whatever happened to your Fukian tea? The finicky Fukian. Well, I have 2 stories to share with you. That one died. It's very sad. That one was so finicky with me, and I don't know if I've ever really learned how to really treat Fukian teas. And people say they're a good beginner tree, but they've been so finicky with me. But one of my clients, oddly enough, had 2 trees she wanted me to take care of this year. And she said, Dave, would you take the other one too? And I said, oh, the Fukian. I said, well, sure, I'll give that one a try. But when I got it from her, it looked miserable. And it was like, well, and I saw it earlier in the summer. I said, well, the tree is still looking pretty sickly. You know what? I really want to repot this right now. Not the time of year I'd like to repot, but I don't know. I want to give this thing hopefully the best success in my plant room. And I repotted it, and the roots were just all mashed together, and I think way too much organic material, and it was really wet. I put it in brand new bonsai soil, and I tell you, I've already got new buds growing, and I already have the tree flower since I've done that. And it's just perked up and green as can be, and it's loving life. So it's never. Peter T always says you can repot a tree almost any time of year, and of course the key is aftercare, and can you have it in the right place and give it that proper aftercare. And so now this Fukian tea, I think, is going to just, do wonderful stuff over my winter. When she sees it back in the spring, I think she's going to be just thrilled. As long as I don't kill it between now and then, right?
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's hope. That's what happened to the Fukian tea. So my Fukian tea, that one had some issues apparently.
Did you see Tom Novak this morning worked on your trees that you gave him?
Yeah, he worked on the triangularis, the Ficus triangularis variegated. He
Yeah,
cut that into more of a top with a little bit less lean. And
yeah,
then oh my gosh, the goldfish plant that he is growing had really good growth on it. It was
yeah, beautiful.
completely poofed out. So that was
And that's in his basement.
Rosby has a Sparta juniper. So I'm not as I think I've heard of Sparta juniper before. And when I saw all the Utah juniper, if that's what they were, when I was hiking with my son up those hillsides over the flats there in Salt Lake, gosh, the cones on them, the round small cones or whatever that they have on junipers, just
Yeah.
all over the place. Well, hey, Dave, look another Dave. Good to see you, Dave.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, look at that. The sync between my iPad and my iPhone is way off. I have to have the sound on that.
I had to turn it off on my phone too because I just had to check to see if I could see myself. So there we are. But anyway, Dave, a long tall thing, the Sparta juniper, maybe like the what was the one tree I really was sad to lose my my blue arrow juniper. The blue arrow junipers are very tall, kind of pointy trees, so very conical shape. And I had a twin kind of triple trunk thing going there for a while, and I was really hoping that one would take off because I just really liked the way that was starting to form. And I lost that one too, and I don't know why, but I keep learning every day like everybody else. Hey Lee. Look at Lee from Lee's Trees has joined us. This is hi,
Hey
Dave.
Lee, how you doing?
We just saw Lee. I saw a few of you all with who did I watch? Was it Nigel the other day? I was just on Adam with Notion Bonsai earlier today. Hi Adam. There's Adam. Hey y'all. Do you have any experience with Douglas? Douglas fir? Douglasia? Looks like it'd be the start of Douglas fir, Douglasia. Now you're from Germany, so I don't know if is that a fir tree, Thomas? I've heard some great things about the Douglas fir, but I do not have any in my collection. Steve, do you? I think maybe Nigel has a Douglas fir.
He does. He has a few actually.
Yeah.
A visitor brought him some from the Northwest.
Lee just said hello again, everyone that just came from Nigel. So Nigel was taking all the people away from my little impromptu thing here. But I'm glad to see people are this addicted to bonsai.
I saw that come up, and I was tempted to click on Nigel, but no. I'm sticking with you, Dave.
Look at Dave. Yeah, Dave made this response to Tom. He said, I gave up on Ficus triangularis, killed two very quickly. Dave, I've not lost a single tree yet or a cutting. I've cut everything successfully and rooted them. And, I was at my favorite nursery in Long Lake, Minnesota, there where I do some of my workshops. And they had a couple of newer versions of the triangle, or just new ones to their store. And it looked like there was like a 7 or 8 or 9 trunk triangulus plant there. It was big, and I'm like, oh, look at that forest of triangularis. But the leaves are so big and a little odd shaped. I didn't know if a forest would work so well, but boy, did it look cool. Yeah. Sorry that you killed him, Dave. Thomas thinks though with the Douglas fir, yeah, if it's a fir or a pine tree type thing, I don't know a lot of specifics on the Douglas there, Thomas. That would be a Nigel Saunders question. If you could ever watch Nigel and go check his playlist on Douglas fir.
I think they backbud very easily from what I've heard.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's the part of pines that scares me the most, is trying to get growth down below. Mine dumped all the leaves shortly after I brought them home, and they died within a month. Did they cover the tree up with a bag if it was cold outside? Did it get a little cold blast, Dave, or it just didn't like your place compared to theirs? That's kind of. I just sent home a person today with a tree in a bag, so the cold weather wouldn't hurt it. Bonsai Crazy has joined us. Hey,
Andy.
Oh, fun. Hey, Crazy from Lee. Oh, this is fun. Well, I'm super glad this worked out. I don't have a lot of spectacular content other than just hanging with some bonsai friends. I'll have a little bit more information tomorrow on my season 7 grand opening.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's not a big element of surprise. So not a ton of footage to show, but we're going to talk some more and throw out some ideas and see if anybody wants to join in on the conversation, because it'll help lead me on this big old project I have that now a few of you have gotten a little heads up on. Brandon, join us. Hey, Dave. Nice to see you live. Yeah, it's funny that you say that. I've been thinking about my whole road trip and how everybody thought it was so weird to meet me in person, and it was weird to meet people in person, except for Steve. Steve was the most natural. I mean, what you see on TV is Steve right there, and
That's me.
It was great. We had a blast together.
It was good. It was good. And you get to meet Luca.
And Luca, how is Luca?
He's doing great. He's looking at me right now.
Good. And how's your wife? Tell her I said hello. And
I will. Thank you.
We'll have to be in Long Island again soon. Hey, anybody, Steve, I don't know if I asked you directly when I was there, but are you considering going to the Nationals in September?
I am.
Yeah,
I am.
I think I have a feeling, Steve, we're going to end up together at Nationals. Is that a possibility?
That's a big possibility.
Yeah, if anybody wants to get together at Nationals, if that's going to come to fruition, that'll be a blast. And I've met so many great people in the last year that I think they're all going to be there. So it's just going to be so cool. About what time tomorrow? Well, I'm shooting for about the same time. I'll ask you all, because you're all online right now. I was debating between 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. So that's 8 or 9, of course, Eastern.
For the East Coast, yeah. That might work. That might work for me.
So somewhere between 7 and 8, I'll try to pick that time. Maybe I'll go 7:30, right in the middle,
Okay.
and see how many people can show up. And of course, I think this is always recorded for me, so I will have recordings of this, and I'll show tomorrow's eventually. I don't know that I'll re-show this one, but I'll show tomorrow's again, because it'll be important information. Glad you enjoy the videos. I appreciate that, man. Big wave from Dave, might be checking out. Anyone have success with Italian stone pine? Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
Another new one. Adam, Italian stone pine. Can anybody share anything on Italian stone pine? Steve, you're shaking your head.
No, never even heard of it.
Bonsai Crazy, you miss so much, man. When you're not here from the beginning, there's just craziness that happens. Just Bonsai ranting. Nothing new. So tomorrow, sometime between 7 and 8 p.m. Central Time, I'll post it pretty soon here, so you have a little hint, and it won't be a long one. But if you can watch, that'd be great. We'll hang out and chat again, and then I'll talk about season 7 and my big announcements and what I'm hoping to do.
Long live Bonsai Acres.
Long live. That's right. That's a big part of it. Any thoughts on Ficus lyrata? Boy, I've heard that phrase a couple of times. Don't have one. Boy, I bet you it's something that Nigel has, man.
He has one.
If you don't know Nigel, man, he's the one who's going to give you most of those answers. I shouldn't say this because you can't umbrella statement every tree in the world out there, but so many trees react so similarly. I think you just have to figure out, as I've said before too, what really works in your microclimate, and tell people, myself included, 7 seasons of YouTube in starting tomorrow and 9 years in bonsai. We just have to learn how to water our trees. I mean, if we can't water our trees the right way, they're not gonna grow. And my brain's all over the place right now, but I just saw the latest release from Gilbert Cantu from Little Jade Bonsai. He's not put out a lot of videos in the last couple of years. I know his mom, I think, passed away, his mom or dad, in the last year or so, and he's just slowed down in his videos. And all he does is PAs. And he just did an experiment this past summers into fall, I think, or this year, 2024. He put 2 PAs the exact same size, one in a regular 4-inch size pot and another one in like a maybe 9-inch deep pot. And 3 months later, the side-by-side is phenomenally amazing how much it grew. So, speaking towards that, put your trees in the ground if you can, or in a bigger pot, and let them just grow and grow and grow. I think sometimes we do love our trees too much, and so if we don't have a lot of trees, we just want to cut and trim and prune them, but we should just leave them alone a lot more than we do. I think I've taken trying to live that way a little bit more, Steve. And with a lot of trees, we can kind of do that, can't we?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Brandon, you didn't miss the announcement. It's kind of happening right now, and I'll have the new announcement after I sign off tonight here. So 8 is great for bonsai crazy. Yeah, great, sweet. Dave, addicted to bonsai. Yeah, well, let's call it what it is, my friend. It's an
That's
addiction.
exactly what it is. It's an addiction.
I make fun of my students at school about being addicted to their technology, but then I have to also stop for a moment and pause and say, "Well, Dave, are you losing sleep because of bonsai? Yeah. Are you
Yes.
losing focus at work because of bonsai? Yeah."
Yes. I
So,
lose sleep trying to plan my next penjing.
well, you put so much heart into those penjings, I can understand why.
Yeah.
Um, oh, you guys are killing me with these trees tonight. This is where I need all this more expertise there, Steve. The Kusamono, um, not in my wheelhouse either. Um, do you have Tom, or you're looking to get one? Dave saw that video from Gilbert. Very cool. Hey, the bald yeti. Whoa, you kidding me?
Oh, look at this.
We are coast to coast right now, Alaska to Long Island and
Wow.
Germany and Utah. We got people all over the country. The bald yeti, my friend.
What's up, Billy?
Um, hey, Billy, I should send you the link to this thing and see if you can join real quick if you'd be interested. I can send you an email. I don't know if I even have your email, Billy, or do I? Hey, Yeti. All right. Hi. I love how you guys are not selfish and promote others as well. I've said it a bazillion times. This bonsai community,
It's great.
it really is something else. And I've asked this of a couple of bonsai YouTubers, do you get some negative comments once in a while? And, there's a few out there. There's a few people that waste their time and telling us something that we either could have done better or whatever. But, 99+% of people are so cool. And I tell you what, I've said it to every workshop I've been to with every new person, hundreds to date now, that I learn something new every workshop from the people who haven't even touched a tree yet,
Hmm.
because of the way they look at their tree and the way that they're thinking this, and they have a new idea because they know nothing about bonsai. We have all these rules that are great fundamental rules that come from China and Japan and everywhere else, in the Ryan Neals of the world and the Jonas Dupuis and the Peter T's. And there's great fundamentals out there. But when you get this fresh set of eyes and people who are very artistic and will go like, well, what if we turn it this way? Or would you ever think about, I never thought of that before. So I learned from everybody, and I think we all have to take all of us, myself included, with a grain of salt. I don't claim to know it all, never will. But why don't we just learn together and be on the journey together? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I never professed to be an expert in bonsai. I'm out there trying the techniques I see other people try, and then I'll get a suggestion to try something new.
Yeah.
And I fear giving people the wrong information sometimes, and or bad advice. But if
Yeah.
it works for me, and it might
Yeah.
have worked for someone else, it may work for you as well.
And a great example of that was Weichel. When I got to go interview Weichel a couple years ago in Michigan, and he just turned 92 this year. And the fact that he's
Mm.
growing junipers indoors for 35, 40 years that never saw the light of day. And
Right.
we keep telling people they have to go dormant and all that kind of stuff. I mean, as someone said, they're all bonsai crazy. Rules are there to be bent a little, like our bonsai, and
Yeah.
sometimes a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, we just don't want to break it, right? Maybe we don't want to break it. And Bald Yeti put a couple flames up there. Way to go, Billy. Yeah, so I think we can just continue to learn from each other, and you just there's so much out there, and that's the overwhelming thing. That when I was just talking earlier about the event I was at this past Saturday, people think it's just so hard and complicated. It is, but if you can just watch a few channels and get a few nuggets, then you can go with it, and then you really have to prepare your tree for your climate. You just have to
Right.
know what your microclimate can provide, and then
And get to know what your tree will give you. You make a few
yeah,
changes, and then you watch how your tree reacts, and try to remember,
yeah,
so you don't make the same mistakes twice.
for sure.
Um, but
Yeah,
definitely take what you hear and apply it to your tree. See how it reacts.
yeah. Thanks, Rosby. That's very sweet of you. Yeah, looking at me and Peter Chan and Nigel, and all good, all different, and absolutely. And I saw, Notion, Adam from Notion Bonsai today did a new way to guy wire, to connect his guy wire instead of using tubing or from a bicycle or a medical tubing or anything like that. He used gaffer tape. And yeah, if you've been anybody's known about gaffer tape, that's from the television
From the theater
theater industry. It's not sticky tape that'll leave residue on stuff, so it's really strong and really good tape and a very good protectant of your tree. What a great thing to guy wire your branches down. I didn't even think about that till I saw Adam's video today. And I have gaffer tape in my basement because I set up stuff for our workshops with gaffer tape. Fantastic stuff. I'm meeting Peter Chan again in January. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. I'd love to pop and see Peter Jan live. That man still has more energy than all of us combined, doesn't he?
One of my friends from my bonsai society took a trip to England and just stopped in and talked to him. He said he was one of the most fascinating and really giving people he's ever met. And then he needed a ride to the airport, and he said, "Well, come, I'll give you a ride to the airport." And
That's great. That's great. Dave said, "I love to spin the negative comments around and shower them with positivity." Yeah, kill them with kindness.
Yeah, I do the same.
Yeah, those who say anything negative, I really just say, "Hey, thanks for the input, man. It's much appreciated." Because thank you. I mean, whatever. They took the time to watch enough of my show. It's like, all right, thank you. Yeah, use gaffer tape, Dave. That's a great idea. Now, gaffer tape isn't cheap. It's one of those things that it's not cheap, but I think it's like $18 a roll for maybe the wide stuff. Maybe the thin stuff is a little narrower, a little bit cheaper. Well, fantastic. Well, folks, I think it's time to sign out. I'm getting the hint from my wife that the TV show that we're about to kick back on the couch is about ready to start.
But you don't want to miss that.
So we will sign off for tonight. This was way longer and more successful than I was just going to hope one person said, "Hey, and can you see my mug?" Okay, great. See you later. But this was a great spontaneous gathering here. Thanks everybody for checking it out. And I'll do it again tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, tomorrow between 7 and 8, season 7 kickoff as Bonsai, it's the Bald Yeti rather. He loves that I kick off my new season at the Winter Solstice every year.
Very good.
So that's my new tradition, and he likes it, so I'm going to stick with it.
And the days will start to get longer.
That's right. That. From this point forward, we're not losing time. We're not losing life, I should say.
That's right.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great holiday season. I'll see some of you tomorrow. And here's to Bonsai. As always, take care of you. Take care of your Bonsai. And hey, Steve, guess what? What's going to happen?
What's going to happen? Oh,
we're
thanks for keeping me company in my living room.
Thanks for keeping us company, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, right. Dave.
Bye-bye, everybody. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
All right. Peace out, everybody.